8radio.com.
Show. As you see to my right, I have a guest tonight, Mike Van Houten, Long Island Legend Driver. Welcome.
How's it going tonight?
It's going good. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
A little bit of a trip. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come talk with us tonight.
I was looking forward to this.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Anyway, we want to start off real quick. WJ is absent from the chat room tonight. WJ, unfortunately, one had a little checkup and he had discovered a brain tumor in his brain. They operated today to remove that tumor, and the last update I had from his family was that the surgery was over and that they were discussing with the family the prognosis of what's going on. I don't have any other further details, but you know, hopefully with all the prayers that everybody gave him this weekend, WJ, Long Island, myracenews.com is doing fine. I spent some time with him yesterday talking, and he's in good spirits. And he's turning everything over to the doctors, let them do what they have to do, and I'm sure we'll have updates in the social media from the myracenews.com and everything. And WJ wanted me to thank everybody for the prayers, the phone calls, the messages as he endures this. It was a shock. It was not something that was expected. You never expect to have a brain tumor, but all I could say is from the testing that he went through was a 2-inch diameter tumor in his brain, right between his eye and his ear. So hopefully they got it all out, and he'll be on the road to recovery. So continued prayers for WJ. All right, with that, all right. This past weekend, Formula One was at the Australian Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg was the winner with Lewis Hamilton, the point leader, coming in second. Felipe Massa third. Sebastian Vettel was fourth. And Valtteri Bottas rounded out the top five. Formula One racing all over the world. They go everywhere. Every week they're in a different continent. We worry about going to our local racetracks. These guys are going all over the world.
Yeah.
For Australia, United States, Europe, Asia. They're everywhere. So Formula One. If you've ever watched a Formula One race, sometimes it's difficult to watch because it is a road course and you don't get to see all the action. Basically, the TV coverage is all up front. But if you watch that movie Rush, that's behind the scenes, man, and it doesn't get any better than seeing that stuff. It's really good. And I know I've never been to a Formula One race, but I would love to go to a Watkins Glen type of place, put the blanket out, get the cooler, get some wine, cheese, some crackers, maybe some beers, and just sit back and enjoy. It would be real interesting to watch. Yeah, anyway, I want to take this opportunity to thank the Green Flag driving experience at the Wall Township Speedway in New Jersey, whose hospitality this past Saturday to me and my staff was just overwhelming. I had the opportunity to hop in what they call a TQ. The TQ is a 3/4 midget, and I did some laps at the high banks of the Wall Township Speedway. I think I did 15, 20 laps. And from what I am told, I broke the 100-mile-an-hour barrier. That was pretty cool.
Moving on out.
It started out as a kind of like a joke, and all of a sudden, we'll let you go. And I'm watching the people do it, and don't get me wrong, it was an experience for people who never raced ever. To them, going 40 miles an hour, to them they were going faster than the speed of light.
Yep.
And I think back to the first time I ever raced at the old Isis Speedway. I thought I was going so fast, and I didn't have my belts on right. I was sliding in the seat. That's how fast I was going. The G-force would knock me out of my seat. And here comes Ernie Maynard and Chris Young. Boom, 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 boom. And next thing I know, the whole field passed me. A 10-lap heat race, I was 4 laps down, but I was going pretty.
You thought you were moving though that day.
I was motivated.
Heck
you know?
yeah, definitely.
I'm not embarrassed to say that. I was going in reverse, but I still thought I was going fast.
Yep.
But anyway, there was a good 25, 30 people that took this experience. Men, women, young guys, old guys, big guys, little guys. It was interesting to watch. And watching these people strap in, they're like, oh, their eyes are like, wow. And they're holding on. They got that death grip on the steering. And they come back in. The smile on their faces were just like unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then it was my turn to go. And I was all serious and stuff. I'm sitting there, all right, we could do this. Get in, strap in. And I had that same smile when I got off, but I had a good time. And there's like a car that goes out and you're supposed to like stay behind them. And when I started catching him, that guy, it was time for him to start motoring. And
You've taken laps in other things before.
Oh,
though.
I've driven everything but the ambulance.
So for the people that never experienced it, like you said, to get out there, there's nothing like it.
Nothing like
it at all.
And there were people that signed up for like this 5-lap deal. They're going home and they're going online and they're going to move a bigger package next time.
Yep.
And it was husbands and wives, and it was a good day. And a lot of the guys out there were given this as a gift for Father's Day.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of fathers out there and their kids watching. Everybody's taking pictures, myself included. And so we were out there. We got some footage. We'll have that footage probably next week or the week after that shows what I did out there. And I had a good time. I really did.
That's what it's all about.
I had a great time. And then I was supposed to stay for the races for the Garden State Classic at the Wall Township Speedway, but it got rained out, unfortunately. But I'm watching the cars, and I said to the person in charge of lining up who goes when, I said, when am I going? She goes, you're going last. And I'm looking at the sky. When am I going? You're going last. And I was like, I'm going to come all this way and not get to go out and race. So the weather gods held up. They let me do my laps. And then I had the opportunity to go with Gary and his crew to a nice place down the road from the track called Mulligan's. We had a nice lunch, and we talked racing. And we talked about, we tried to solve all the racing's problems over this lunch, But it was good. And again, Green Flag Driving Experience, Wall Township Speedway, New Jersey. For information, go to greenflagdrivingexperience.com. And there's many, many different packages for many different levels of driver. There's the people, if you just want to go out and do laps, that's perfect for you. If you want to go out and maybe learn something, that's even better.
It's that one time that you go that you're going to get hooked. And then once you get hooked, you're going back.
You're going back.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, there were people that wanted to go again, but the way the program works, they have to be out of there by a certain time. So it was good. And the other thing I want to talk about at Wall Township Speedway is there was racing obviously scheduled, and there were 2 Long Islanders that showed up, and they had already called it due to rain. And one of them, it was Darren Miller, who races here on Long Island. And for those who don't know, Darren is deaf. And his spotter talks to him through lights on the dashboard. If there's a car on the outside, the arrow goes right. If there's a car on the inside, it goes left. If there's a caution, a yellow light flickers. Well, he drove all the way there from Long Island, with the trailer and the car and whatnot, and it rained out. Now, it was going to be his first day there. So the owners of the racetrack asked the staff of the Green Flag Driving Experience if they could do a quick safety check on his equipment and his uniform and let him get 20 laps because he came all that way.
Nice.
Now, you know what? That is, to me, that is heaven. That's a promoter who is concerned with their competitor.
Wants the guy to come back.
And he's got it now.
And now he is.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And we in the driving experience, we took like a little break so that they could do that. They came all that way. And that's one of the unfortunate things when you travel distances to go and you drive all that way and you're rained out. But they were happy because they got to shake the car down.
Yeah.
Now they know what changes they have to make when they go back in a couple of weeks and go racing. So it was an awesome time. And again, I want to thank Gary and his staff for not only for the hospitality, but for making me feel important. I was not just one of the people there to do the school. I was there, and they made me feel like I can't even describe the feeling that I got from his staff and his people, and even strapping me into the car. I know how to strap into a car. I've done it, but it was funny. I was teasing a friend of mine. I said, I feel like Juan Pablo, man. I just held my hands on. They put my gloves, my restraints. I'm like, I just sit there, do my Hans. I was like, I didn't have this on my local track when I raced. I was there struggling myself, reaching for the belt, it's behind you. You yell, oh, get the ball. But no, again, I want to thank them, and I know we'll be back, and we'll be back with people who are going to take the experience. So again, thank you. Also during this lunch, what we did was, we're talking racing, and one of the officials, not only is he a green flag driving experience flagman, but he is also one of the tech inspectors at the Wall Township Speedway. And we talked about car counts, and one of my concerns is the dwindling car counts across the whole country in the weekly series. And they've been pretty lucky, and they have a situation where they're getting on a weekly basis on average about 25 modifieds. Then they're getting another 25 to 30 sport modifieds. Over 20 legend cars compete there regularly, and they have almost 20 limited late models that compete weekly. In that group, we discovered there are 12 Long Island competitors that leave Long Island and go to this racetrack some 2.5, 3 hours away to go racing, when some of them literally drive past their local racetrack. And I had hoped to interview all of them, and of course with the rain it didn't. We got to talk to John Matlack from Matlack Fabrications, who has built and rebuilt Darren Miller's cars. And John basically says, I go where my boss tells me. Whoever I'm working with at that time, whoever car, they say we're going here, I go there. But we try, we're talking about what kind of factors contribute to that. Now, some guys feel that they'd rather race on a bigger racetrack, because Wall is a third of a mile, where the local racetrack on Langley is a quarter, is a tight quarter, and ideal for legend car racing. We're going to talk about that later. But for a modified on a quarter-mile racetrack, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough to run a modified.
At Riverhead, I think with the modified division, once you get over 12, 14 cars, it's not that good.
No.
Just like we said, it's so tight.
It's so tight.
You can have 12 fast cars there, and you'll have a really good race instead of 25 cars, 10 being fast and 15 being,
absolutely.
out there.
So it's we talked about that, and Wall Speedway's had his problems over the years with different owners, different promoters, and we're opening, we're not opening, we're running, we're not running, and it seems like they're going in. They're on a year-to-year lease, which is kind of hard to plan, because you really need to plan next season now. You don't even know if you're going to be operating, but they're making it happen there. And again, I want to thank them, Gary and his crew, for all they did for me and my staff, and for allowing my camera guy Kevin from Long Island Need for Speed to go right down there and do some filming and some footage of my experience, and a lot of the other people as well. So, but do the post-production things that we really want to make that right. So we're going to show that at a later date. Also later on in the show and the broadcast, when we come back after the 7:30 break, another interview from the racing the early years, Ron Langon, driver who drove at many tracks on Long Island. Also was a fabricator, has built race cars, championship race cars. So we'll have his interview on there. And we'll talk about what went on in Chicagoland. We'll talk about the K&M Pro Series. And we'll have some time with Mike here talking legend car racing when we come back.
Hey, this is Chris West Jake, and if InRavio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Rich Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you're punching the But if you have this bracelet from inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
Welcome back. So, Mike.
Yes.
Legend car racing. How did you get into legend car racing?
Believe it or not, about 6 years ago, I was at the Turkey Derby in Wall Stadium, of all tracks, and Kevin Nowak, he races Legends still today. He's a big guy. He's from here on the island, and he had a 34 Ford sedan, and I've always liked the 34 Ford sedans, and people told me if you're going to race, or if you're ever thinking about getting one, you're going to need a sedan. So he had one there, and I asked him if I could sit in it, just sit in it, see if I fit. I fit in it. 2 or 3 years went by. It worked out that we were able to get a car from Brendan Bach from Glenn Dixon, a really great sedan, and just living the dream out there racing legend cars Saturday nights.
You know, in one of the breaks you were saying, what was you saying? It was drivers?
Oh yeah, there's two kinds of people. I tell everybody every week at the racetrack. There's race car drivers, and then there's guys that drive race cars, and I like to think that I'm just a guy that drives a race car. I'm a crew guy at heart. I've been going to the races all my life, but I definitely don't consider myself a race car driver by any means.
But you know, I'll tell you, and I don't go out to the local track that often, but anytime I'm there, I see you're right in there, you're making your moves, and sometimes I've seen you start in the back and work your way mid-pack, and watching you and your brother race together sometimes, your brother Brad.
Yep.
I think that is such an awesome feeling. What is it like to race with your brother?
It's wild because it's hard to afford a car, and Legends are really competitive cars, but they're really technical to drive, but they're affordable, and that's what it's about. And at the time when I wanted to get a car, Jeffrey Goodell, Kyle Elwood, my little cousin Kyle, Brad, my brother, all running Legend cars. So now I have to get a Legend car so I can race with those guys. And I just want them to always share the same track. I haven't even got close to mixing it up with them yet because they're head and shoulders from where we're at, but I'm having fun just sharing the same racetrack.
Well, they got a lot more seat time than you do.
Yeah, they have a few more years.
Few more.
Just
Now, what's it like on a Sunday at Mom's having dinner when you're there with your brother, whatever, you're talking racing? How does that go?
I really don't say much. It's when we go to the track on Saturdays, I get my car pretty dialed in off the scales, and I like it pretty much how we set it up. Where Brad, he'll change the whole car in the course of 5 minutes just to try to get that extra tenth, where I tend to settle a little bit. I like my comfort zone. I like the way it drives. We just kind of leave it there. The conversation on Sunday nights, we don't really talk much racing on Sunday about what we did on Saturdays.
Okay.
We're on to the next thing already.
There you go.
We're watching TV or whatever's on, NASCAR on TV. We're
nice
talking
wind
about that.
down.
Yeah.
Wind down.
What happens on Saturdays stays on Saturdays, and then we look forward to the next Saturday to do it again.
Now, did you ever race anything besides Legend cars?
Enduros, 20 years ago. Played
just
with
a
those
kid
little
then?
Bit. Yeah. As long as I've been coming to the races and I've been able to get in the pit area, I've always been around it.
Okay.
My uncle raced back in the 90s, John Elwood.
Yeah.
And I was always on a crew with him. I did a little Enduros. Didn't really tie on to the Enduros. Enduros back in the 90s weren't the Enduros we have today.
Oh, without a doubt.
No doubt. And people don't even know that run Enduros today, what it was like when there was 130 cars.
Yep.
Bumper to bumper, 3 wide around the whole track. That was an Enduro.
Yeah.
It's not Enduros like today.
No.
I ran a few Enduros, never really tied on to it. Bought myself a go-kart, a Champ kart. Was way too big for it, but it was something I can do and I can afford and have fun with. And I didn't buy it to win. I bought it just to have fun. Try to stay on the lead lap. If you stay on the lead lap and you're racing with the other cars, no matter if you're first, 12th, 25th, end of the day, smiling, acting like I'm winning the race.
Yeah, when I first started, to me, driving it off the racetrack instead of being towed off was like a win.
That's what the Legends are, because the Legends are an open wheel class. You know, the wheels stick out further than any other part of the car. It's open wheel just like a modified, so you really can't check side to side. There's no Nerf bars or anything like that. So you got to kind of keep your nose clean, and you got to respect the other kids and gentlemen that are out there racing with you. You know, it's all about respect.
Now, you know, you've been in Legends really a short time. I guess your rookie season 2013.
2013 rookie season, didn't really do much. Went there, qualified for half the shows, got my feet wet. I mean, I went out there the first day and I put down a 16-second lap time, 2.5 seconds off the pace, and I thought I was going somewhere.
Yeah.
And I thought I was doing something. And little by little, progression. It's all about progression, seat time, doing it over and over again. You know, I played basketball when I was a kid. People tell me I got pretty good at it, but I didn't learn that in a day. And racing is no different. So every time you get in it, you learn something. 3 years from now, I tell everybody all the time, joking around, I hope it takes me 5 years to really learn how to drive this Legend car, because they are technical to drive, and every week I learn something. And I still keep saying all the time that my car's still getting faster. People tell it's me, but I don't want to be like that. I still believe the car is doing all the work.
No, you know, and I've watched you, because like I said, I went a few times in 2013, 2014. I haven't been out there yet. And I've watched you, even last season, from the beginning of the season to the end, your whole thing was different.
What we're doing with the kids is really what it's about. You know, I get a little sentimental when I talk about it, but it's the truth. You know, 35 years ago, I was that kid that wanted to sit in every guy's race car at the track, get everyone's autograph. So I said to myself, if I ever get to race, I'm going to give back to the kids. That's what it's all about. I have nieces and nephews that go every week. They range from 3 years old to 8 years old. Oh, man, my 3-year-old nephew thinks I win the race when I finish 15th. There's no better feeling in the world than that.
None. And I've seen it. You have like a crowd around your car. And I thought it was for your mother's cooking.
Yeah, no, we do put on a pretty good barbecue. But no, I got some shirts made up last year by ASI Racewares, and they do a phenomenal job. They sold my brand a little bit. I kind of told them what I was looking for. My girlfriend has a website called Curly Creations where she customizes candy bars and stuff like that, and hair bows for girls. And we have a couple girlfriends that are supporting us getting hair bows and wearing them to the racetrack, racing related. And I put out candy bars every week for the kids, you know, and lollipops. That's what it's all about. You got to get the kids that come up to you at the end of the night. It's all about the children.
And you know what? I'll tell you what. It is. It really is. And because that's where it starts.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
That's where they first get that, hey, I'm into this.
I want to do that.
I was into that 30 plus years ago, and when they told me at 15 that I could get in the pit area, sign me up. I've been in there ever since. And
the first time I went to a racetrack, it was 1965, and I was hooked.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, racing's a waste of time, a waste of money, a waste of energy. There's more productive things you could be doing, son. So I didn't go to the races often, but when I did, my grandfather, rest in peace, he would pick me up, we'd go to the races, and we'd sit there and just watch the race, and I was like, I could do this, I could do this.
Those are the memories that'll last forever.
Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea.
Definitely.
So 2014 comes, 17th in the points, best finish, 12th.
12th, yeah. 2014 was good. And, qualified for every show, still getting more and more comfortable. Qualified for every show. We finished 12th, and 12th was my highest finish. 17th overall in the standings. The last night of the season, I won the qualifying race, which in the Legend division, the better you finish in the heat, the better you start in the feature. And I always tell people, I just want to finish in the top 3 in the heat so I can start in the top 10 so I can run with the fast cars.
There you go.
And lo and behold, the last night we won the heat. We started on the pole.
I was there that night.
Didn't last long, but
it's all right.
I had a great experience of running with the fast cars. I always dreamed of racing with Kevin Nowak and Mike Van Houten and Kyle Soper and Dylan Slepian and the Peterson boys. You know, all the guys that you grow up watching run those cars and saying, man, it'd be cool if I could run with those kids. And little by little, we're making some progressions, and we're starting to get to their bumpers, which feels pretty good.
Now, as we all know, racing's not a one-man show. Who are some of the people who help you?
My mother and father, huge. Can't do it without my dad. My dad's everything to me.
Yeah.
Can't go racing without him.
Yeah.
He's if you know me and Brad and you see us at the track, my father is definitely right there. We don't go racing without him.
No.
My brother Brad, I said, I'm sorry. Stephen and Meredith, my sister and her husband, Stephen Halpin, he's a PA announcer at the racetrack.
Yeah.
Him and Bob Finan. I can't complain. They hook me up on the PA. They give me a lot of shout outs, a lot of airtime.
Good for your sponsors.
That's mind-boggling. You know, that's life-changing for me because I've always been on the other side of the fence, always been on the crew, never really experienced driving, and you get a little complacent out there sometimes when you are driving. Holy cow, I'm really driving this car.
I'm really doing this.
And it's cool. Yeah, I say it all the time: living dreams, chasing dreams. I'm a true believer that I'm living dreams every Saturday night.
And I tell you what, and when you go into, no matter whether it's race car driving, golf, bowling, fishing, if you go in with that attitude, you're already a winner, in my book. You've already won. It's the guys that take this, and I'm not trying to put down anybody that goes out to win and win championships. I spoke to a team owner not too long ago. He said, if I can't finish first, I wasted my time. And I'm like, wow, you're taking it really serious. This isn't how you feed your family. This is supposed to be something that you do for fun, and you're doing that.
Yeah, totally.
You're doing that.
Last year we have a little story about Ronny Langon that we're going to talk about later. But Ronny Langon was parked next to us last year for one of the races, and I don't really know Ronny Langon from per se just the racetrack. I don't know him outside of the racetrack. And one night I finished like 16th or 17th. Got out of my car, fist pumping, banging the roof, pumped, smiling. He looks over at me. How'd you make out? I think 16th, but we were on the lead lap, and that was a lot of fun. And I don't want to stop having fun. Once it's not fun, it's not for me.
Yeah.
I'm having the time of my life every Saturday night.
Now, who are some of the sponsors? I know your car is like a billboard.
I do. I'm fortunate that I have some great names on it there this year. Goody Motorsports, Russell and Kathy Goodell, huge. When I started this Legend deal 3 years ago, I asked Mr. G if he could help me out with a little power plant. If I was able to afford a chassis, can you help me with a motor? And he tied right onto it. He said, you get yourself a chassis, come talk to me. He's given me a motor for the last 3 seasons. This year he gave me the motor for myself, so it's my own engine now. I couldn't have started the racing deal without Kathy and Russell Goodell. My mom and my dad, Kathy and Russell. Van Houten Trucking, Ralph's Famous Italian Ice in Riverhead. I have Clark & Associates, FP Performance Transmissions, TJ Halpins, Hagerman Systems, Curly Creations, Okula Motorsports, AJ Painting, and last but not least, this past winter, I had a thing on the internet that was called GoFundMe. It was a chance for people to sign on there and help support my addiction because I couldn't afford it myself. I blew up my motor the last race of the last season, and I needed a $4,000 rebuild, and I didn't know how I was going to get it. I found a thing on the internet called GoFundMe.com. I had a couple people sign on there, started donating. Within 2 weeks, we had $2,500 raised on that. And through the course of 2 months, I had 38 donations, a little over $3,500.
Nice.
That's mind-boggling.
That's
just
nice.
to see me have fun.
And you just went and did that. You
Yeah.
know? You just I got to make this happen.
I put it on there, got a couple people to sign up the first night.
Nice.
2 or 3 days go by, and all of a sudden we're at 1,500. It was just speechless.
I've seen other people do that, not only with racing, but with losing their homes, and whether
Yep.
it was from a storm or from a fire, and go in and people go on and help
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
And even if it's, I was looking at some of the donations, it was like $10, $20, but you know what?
Yeah.
You get 10 of those people, that's $100. You know?
Exactly.
And it all adds up, and that's really good. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to come back with the Racing the Early Years with our Ronny Langon interview at the Himes Museum of Nostalgia when we come back.
What's up, guys? We're Scared No Fair, and we're here with Enravio. If they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Rush Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you get punched in the But if you have this bracelet from InRavio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
Okay, we're back. We are back. You know, I always say this whenever we have a live guest. Sometimes the conversation during the break is more interesting than what we're broadcasting. And Mike was, you know, Mike's a regular guy. Let me tell you, I know Mike a long time, and you know, guy gets choked up because this is passion. It's a true passion. You know what we do in racing, and I always tell this story at every chance I can about the late Kenny Hyde Sr. When him and we raced in 1986 and 1996, and we wrecked each other week after week, fought in the pits, fought in the parking lot, went to each other's places, wherever we could go have a fight, you know. Sometimes just a yelling and screaming match, but when I had that wreck in 96, he was the first guy at my house, you know, and because that's what we do. You know, we're there to help each other, you know. And even when Brian Cistella drove my figure 8 car, and Brian was going for Rookie of the Year, and with the second to last race of the year, he stuffed into the fence, bent the front end rear clip. And I'm up at Thompson doing a tour race, and I get the phone call that your car's totaled, and I'm like, wow, is Brian all right, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, he's good, but your car's no good. I'd have to say about 6 or 7 guys from the figure 8 division came and helped put that car back together. Even the guy who was the rookie contender with him.
Nice.
But that's what
That's
it's all about.
It's family.
It's all about. Anyway, racing the early years, we got Ronny Langon from the Himes Museum of Nostalgia. Take a look.
InRavio.com.
I'm with Ronny Langon, car fabricator, driver, won some championships. Ronny, how long have you been doing this?
36 or 37 years.
So you know the guy that started like in the late 70s, huh?
Yep.
What got you started into racing?
I lived in Belmore, and I could hear the race Freeport Speedway from my house, and from the time I was little, I just wanted to be there.
But your first experience, and where was it?
I was at Freeport. I went there for a birthday gift, and that was it. I got hooked. And then I found out, as I got a little older, a couple guys from just outside of my neighborhood had race cars, so I went over there and, you know, made a nuisance of myself.
Now, you've built a lot of cars over the years for a lot of guys. Who have you had your most success with as a fabricator and people driving with you?
Oh, Tommy Wakowiak,
Without a doubt.
without a doubt.
He's the winningest driver, and I guess it's the blunderbuss, the
Yep.
winningest driver of all time in blunderbuss. And you were there basically for every one of those wins, correct?
All but one.
All but one. Which one did you miss?
No, it's the only win he doesn't have in one of my
okay.
cars is the first one he's got.
Oh, okay. Now, looking back, now you've been building these cars for a long time, worked on these cars for even longer. What's changed?
People are a lot smarter. The cars really haven't changed that much. The tires are a little different. Everybody builds them better, and they pay more attention to detail.
That's key, attention to detail.
Yeah.
Without giving away any of your secrets, what are some of the details that you look for?
There are no secrets.
There you go. I knew you were going to say that.
But there aren't. It's just putting it together square and straight.
Key phrase there. There are no secrets. Just build it square and straight and make it happen. And you know, I can remember when Ronnie was coming up and some of the cars he was involved with, they were winning right out of the box. And a lot of people, right away, if you're winning, you're cheating. The guy's not cheating. He does his homework. He does his homework. And you know, you can't ask for more than that. And somebody said that to me a long time ago. I said, how do we do this? What does it take to get a winning car? A lot of luck? Do your homework. Because for every hour that you're at the track, you need 8 hours in your garage. And you got to do your homework. And don't crash it because you're going to spend all week fixing it. Drive it on the trail at the end of the night because then when you get home to your shop, you can make it better. And I haven't seen you bend up too much equipment.
No, we've been pretty fortunate that in 2 years I've taken a bumper off and broken axle.
What's that?
That's it.
Oh, it's all good.
I like the bottom groove. I think everyone likes the bottom groove when you're first getting started, when you're not really comfortable about going up towards the wall. But now we just started our 3rd season this year, and we're getting a little bit more comfortable when we get up on double file restarts up on the outside. So it's all progression.
Yeah, I drove a legend car twice, and it was a legend car that was owned by Jim Pape at his son James race. And I got into this thing. It was the first time I got in a legend, and he had these lights on the dashboard, so you knew which gear you were in. And I was like, "What gear should we be in here?" You know? And he says, "All right, we should be like in 5th, I think it was, or 6th. I'm trying to remember. It was a long time ago. So and when I first got in it, and I did like the first couple of laps, I didn't know about. He said to me, "It's a motorcycle transmission." What do I know about motorcycles? Yeah. So I have it in 1st, I drop it into 2nd, and I go forward and my head snaps. I'm like, "Well, I misshifted." So I pulled in because I was like, I did something wrong. So we go back and they explain it. We're all laughing, have a good laugh at me, and I'm glad I was able to bring some joy to them that day.
You didn't think it was a 1 up, 4 down like a motorcycle?
No.
Nah.
So I go back out and I'm doing some laps and I'm having a good time and I'm running with the guys. I'm running with the guys, and but I had to turn right to go straight. I was like, this isn't right. There's something wrong here. So I pull in and how'd you like it? I says, I could have went a lot faster, but I'm turning right to go down the straightaway and the track's not that slick. So Jim Pape looks at his son, he goes, "James, what's going on?" He goes, "Well, I don't know, I thought that's what it was supposed to do."
Yeah.
Turned out the rear was cocked 2 inches.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So, you know, you get complacent sitting in your own race car and you're like, all right, this is what it's supposed to do. Somebody else gets in it, they just tell you one little thing. And he went out the following week, had a top 5, you know. Not because of me, but so there was the feedback. And it's all about feedback. And as a driver, you got to give your guys feedback. And
Yeah, definitely.
You got to pull in and say, hey, it's doing this, it's doing that, it's doing the other thing. And
I'm lucky and fortunate that I have a brother that races in the division with me, Brad. He's been racing for 12 years. He's run street stocks, modifieds, SK modifieds.
Yeah.
So he's very diverse in his learning curves of racing. So last year I had him get in my car and just see if we were close. And believe it or not, he ran the same lap times as the lap times I'm running today. So it's pretty cool.
And you're like right at 12. You're like on the cusp of break 12, aren't you?
No, I'm on the cusp of getting in the 13s.
The 13s. So
I'm stuck on a 14.0.
That's all right.
But I'm having the most fun running 14.0s.
There you go. You know, that's a big improvement in 2 years.
Yeah.
Big
Huge.
improvement. Because, like you said, 2.5 seconds, that's a lot.
Yeah, I started at 16, got right into the 15s, then I got down to the 14s, pretty close, and then it's the first couple seconds is always easy. Now you're trying to trim tenths.
Yeah.
And now I'm to the point where I'm still 3 or 4 tenths off the really fast cars, but race trim is about the speed that I'm going right now. So if I could just hang out and race trim at 14.0, 14.1, we'll be all right.
You're all right. That's a good deal. Anyway, the K&M Pro Series East was at Langley Speedway in Virginia this past weekend. With William Byron was the winner with Kyle Benjamin second, Dalton Sargent third, Gray Golding fourth, and Jay Beasley rounded out the top 5. K&M Pro Series, it's one of those development series. It used to be the old Busch East. It was like a step down from the old Busch Series, which is now the Xfinity Series. But it's the K&M Pro Series. It seems like the Cup teams are using that as a development program.
I was going to say they still have some Cup affiliated teams in there.
Without a doubt. And that's why you look at their rookie standings. There's half the field is rookies. When you look at it. But K&M Pro Series East, I had an opportunity to work a lot of races with the K&M Pro Series guys. A good bunch of people. I miss them. I had a good time with them. And working with the teams and whatnot. So that's a good deal. Let's see what we got. The Cup Series was off this weekend. They head out to Sonoma, California, to race a road course. Road course racing. Well, what's your take on that?
Road course racing? I don't know. It's depends what kind of car. I mean, if they're 40 cars of equal proportion, you know, I'm sure it'd be a good race. But 9 out of 10 times, it gets strung out way too fast.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit in a section and you're going to see one turn, maybe a little straightaway and another turn. I don't know. That takes a lot away from it.
You know, it's funny. I had the opportunity to work a Top Series at Watkins Glen. I'm all excited. I'm a Cup official this week. This is nice. I'm figuring I'll be on pit road. And, you know, that you don't see a lot, obviously. But you know, I'm on pit road. I wonder who they're going to give me. I'm all excited. Well, they put me out by what they call the bus stop, all the way where they got to make that right, and they have me out there. And my job was to tell them that the pace car to shut its lights off, the field is in order, and we're going green when they come around again. And I'm like, okay. Then I had to report anybody who blew the chicane. And they had to come back around. They had to actually stop there. So I had to go to the bus stop and then go. And I'll be sitting there, I'm like, okay, oh, they're all going. I'm like, a minute later. Yeah. A minute later, if not more. They come by again. I'm like, this is how many laps we got here? It was painful. But it was, there was people up in the mountains, up in the hills, at the blankets. You know, and it was a good day for them. But I had a good time, don't get me wrong, but it was just not what I was accustomed to. It really wasn't. But anyway, the Camp World Truck Series, they were up at Iowa, or out at Iowa, I should say, where Eric Jones was the winner there. Let's see, Brand Giles was second, Tyler Reddick third, Matt Crafton fourth, Christopher Bell was fifth, Timothy Peters sixth, Spencer Gallagher seventh, Daniel Hemrick eighth, Cole Custer ninth, and John West Townley rounding out the top 10. Cup Series, rule package changes. For the Kentucky race on July 11th, NASCAR has announced a reduced spoiler height of 3 1/2 inches, 25-inch wide splitter, 1 3/4 inch less on the splitter height, and extended practice time for the Cup teams, because these rule changes are going to make these cars better,
looser,
and faster, and looser, and make them have to drive them. They realize that there's a problem in the Cup Series.
Taking some downforce away from these guys.
Yeah, they take the downforce away. It's going to make for some side-by-side racing, none of this parades anymore. And I've watched the last few Cup races. You know, I sit there, get my recliner out, get my little tray of snacks, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and nobody's racing the first 150 laps. They're just riding around.
Most of those mile-and-a-half tracks are like that.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they make that last pit stop, and then they're going. Now they're racing. So, you know, I might as well just watch the first 5, 6 laps, roll them dice, slice and dice, and then go mow the lawn, go swimming, go fishing, take a nap, whatever. You know, cook dinner, and then go back for the end, because that's what was happening. And you know, and I'm not the only one that felt that way. Obviously, the fans, because they're not going like they used to go. So NASCAR realized they got to make a change, and that's one of the things I like about NASCAR, because when it's broke, they fix it. And they see that the racing, when you have Steve O'Donnell, the executive vice president of competition, you know, really sit back and say, this is what we need to do, then this is what we need to do, and you're making it happen. These rule changes weren't supposed to come out until 2016, and now they're bringing them out for this Kentucky race on the 11th. So it should be interesting to see how that racing goes, because they got to make some changes. They really have to make some changes. I got like notes everywhere. Yeah, what else? I got the Cup. Cup was off, like I said. Now the Xfinity Series was at Chicagoland. They got rained out Saturday, and NASCAR does this thing. You try to race on the next sunny day because, A, for the fans, they want the fans to still, they paid their money to come see it, and also logistically, sometimes scheduling, it's tough to go back to a facility because the way the schedules work. So the Xfinity were at Chicagoland. Again, rain delayed the race to a Sunday morning start. Eric Jones was the winner. Ryan Blaney second. Austin Dillon finished third from the pole. Brendan Gaughan fourth. Chris Bruscher fifth. Ross Kenseth sixth. Daniel Suarez seventh. Brian Scott eighth. Ty Dillon ninth. And rounding out the top 10, Darrell Wallace Jr., who had a late race spin that took him out of running for.
Eric Jones did the double this weekend.
Yeah.
2 different racetracks.
2 different racetracks. And the wins in both.
In a truck and in a car.
It's amazing.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Let's see what we got here. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Hendrick Motorsports 88 team was one of 4 Sprint Cup Series teams receiving written warnings for qualifying and pre-race inspection issues at Michigan. Earnhardt's team had made 3 trips through the inspection line to get okay, as did Joe Gibbs Racing's Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards, along with Phil Parsons' racing team driver Josh Wise. They also had issues. And that is penalties for that, because there was no penalty for that in the past. You can go through the tech as long as you are ready for your qualifying run. You could have went through tech 10 times. Well, NASCAR got tired of that. And it was one of those things, I was like, you know, you got to push the envelope, and you get caught. There should be some kind of penalty. And I've always said that, you know, and I'm, you know, sometimes you say too much and they want you to be quiet. But, you know, now they have the thing where if you get 2 warnings, because you get written warnings, you're all right. You get the 3rd one, they take practice time away from the next event. 15 minutes of practice time taken away, that's big in that level.
Yes and no.
Okay?
Because
Tell us your feeling on that.
you see most of these Cup teams when they go out there and you see laps run, they're dialed in right out of the box for the most part.
For the most part, yep.
You see the guys that are fast on Sundays, you see their practice laps, they run like 5 laps. They're dialed right in.
Mm-hmm.
They're not putting down 40, 50 laps in practice like a Saturday night racer would be putting down to like get their car tuned in.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to disagree a little bit.
Okay,
sometimes
that's
about
good.
that. Because I don't know. The guys that are fast, Harvick, Logano, you know, all of Hendrick, and you know, the 3 big organizations, Hendrick, Joe Gibbs,
Yep.
and
Childress.
RCR.
Yep.
Those guys, they're right out the box good.
Right.
It's the guys that are 20th on back that are running 30 laps of practice.
Trying to get it right.
But
And some of them dial themselves out.
yeah,
Right out.
There's a fine line, just like getting docked now for your inspection. I mean,
Now,
they're so close.
Now, I've been going to a lot of dirt tracks this year just to get a different perspective. And the first time I went to Orange County Fair Speedway, again, a great place. It's less than 2 hours. Go up. I'm telling you, you'll have a great time. And there's some good racing up there. But I went up there and I looked at the schedule of events that are going on. And practice was scheduled for like a half hour. There's 100 cars here. There's no way they're going to. I'm saying to myself, there's no way they're going to. I had like, 50 cars and it was like 2 hours. They did like 3 laps of practice.
They get hot laps.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
They won, pack it down a little bit, green, 1 to go, over next.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. And I had talked to a dirt late model guy down in Volusia a couple of years ago, Earl Pearson, and when I was delivering some stuff at ASI. And I didn't know. I brought his stuff. He goes, I'll be right back. I got to do practice. I'm like, oh, geez, here we go. I got to wait an hour. He did like 3 laps and came in. Gets out, takes his stuff off. I said, everything all right? He goes, yeah, why? You only practiced 3 laps. He goes, if I can't figure it out in 3 laps, I should go home. I was like, oh, okay. And that's what it was.
Yeah.
Dirt track racing is
a whole different animal.
Whole different animal. And and the way they go, and they're side by side, and they're not hitting, they're bumping and grinding. Don't
No
get me wrong.
radios, no mirrors.
Nothing.
And they're using the cushion, and then they bring it down to pass, then they cool down the right rear up on the cushion. It's just phenomenal to watch, to think they don't have a mirror or a radio with somebody in their ear telling them, hey, there's a guy here, there's a guy here. There's none of that. It's just natural instinct.
Yeah, and I was talking to one of the guys. I said, and I never used it. I used it once. I didn't like it, and I ripped it out. And that was probably because of the guy who was talking in my ear. He didn't shut up.
Yeah.
There's a guy coming on. Oh, they're coming up. They're coming on. They're behind you. I know that. I see it in the mirror. What's on my? And I'm like, what's on the left? What's on? And driving a figure 8 car, it's inside is one turn and outside is the other turn, and it was all confused. And I just that was it. Never use the radio again.
Yeah.
But watching dirt track racing, and again, like I said, Orange County Fair Speedway, great bunch of people, very fan friendly, very competitive friendly. New Egypt. Who's here for the first time? So a bunch of people raising their hand, and they gave them shirts.
I went there for the first time last year. That was wild.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I was in the infield, I was up in the grass, I was in the press box, I was all over the place, and it was a fun time. Looking forward to going back there again, and again with their staff as well. They treated us like gold. My crew, my camera guy, myself, whoever's with us, whatever you need.
VIP treatment.
You have no idea.
Understandable.
Orange County Fair Speedway. I'm going to tell this every show. every show. I stood by the back gate because I like to see, you get a feel for the atmosphere. And people are coming in, they're parking, they get out, they sign in, and the race director is the handicapper. He's the back gate sign-in person. He's everything.
Yep.
And he was saying, I says, you do everything? He goes, oh, I got to save on the payroll, you know? This way I can give the drivers more money. We had a good laugh with that. But I watched people come in, and everybody was laughing, joking, kidding around. Even, you know, guys who got wrecked maybe the week before, and they go, yeah, you get your coffee? Are you all right? You need anything? I'm like, I'm not used to that. You know, I was not used to that.
The camaraderie is there with a lot
Absolutely.
of short track racing.
Absolutely.
We're all friends and family when we're off the track hanging out. And then, I don't know, this cliche that people always change when they put their helmet on, they kind of do.
They kind of do.
They're not your friend anymore. Now you all want that same piece of racetrack.
And I used to say that when guys would get into accidents. And I'd have to say that not every accident is on purpose. Not every spin out is on purpose. And I said this to someone, I'm going to leave their name out, but I said to somebody because they came in the office and they were screaming and yelling at me. He wrecked me up, right? He did it. I said, no, he didn't. You both went for the same piece of racetrack at the same time, and physically that's impossible. Mm-hmm. The law of physics will not allow that. So it was an accident.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Just a race.
You need to throw him out. No, I'm not going to do that. You know, it's when the race is over and the guy's like going into the gate to leave the track when somebody crashes into them. No, that's not an accident. That's on purpose. And as we all know, that stuff happens.
Yep.
That stuff happens. But anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to wrap this up and have a little bit of fun with this when we come back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
Hey, this is Chris West Jake, and if InRavio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
What's up, guys? We're Scano Fair, and we're here with InRavio. If they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Hey, welcome back. Hey, this weekend out in Ridge, the Selden Invitational tournament will be held for the Fire Department of Ridge, and NewYorkStateDrillTeam.com for further information. And also, if you need any further information on the Green Flag Driving Experience at the Wall Speedway in New Jersey, go to greenflagdrivingexperience.com and tell them that you found out about it from the 505 on Racing Show. All right. In-house guests. You're the first guy we're gonna do this with.
Oh, yeah?
I call it pit stop. I'm gonna give you 10 questions. I'm gonna ask you a question. The first thing that comes to your mind. All right? Here we
Sounds
go.
good.
All right. If you weren't racing on Saturday nights, where would you be?
Country club.
Country club. Nice, nice. Who's your favorite driver?
At Riverhead?
Anywhere.
The late Dale Earnhardt.
The late Dale Earnhardt. He was a lot of people's favorite drivers. Who's your hero?
My dad.
I knew you were gonna say that.
He's everything to me.
There you go.
I've been fortunate for 40 years to carry on the name Mike Van Houten, so
There you go.
I'm Mike Van Houten.
And I happen to know your dad. He's a good guy. What do you drive in the street?
I drive a Chevy Silverado.
Favorite actor?
I don't know. Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker. Favorite track?
Favorite track that I've raced at? I've only raced at 2 tracks, and I do like Wall Stadium.
Wall
For the
Stadium.
Turkey Derby every
I loved
year.
it.
It's
I wanna
not
see
like
if
the Turkey Derby in November.
I want to hook up with something for the Turkey Derby because I had a ball there. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is probably pizza.
Pizza. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
Australia. I have family that lives in Sydney.
Oh, okay.
I would love to go there and check it out.
If you were wrecked on Saturday, who'd be the first guy in the shop to help you put it back together?
Dad or Brad.
Okay. And if you got jammed up, who would you call?
My grandma, Grandma Van Houten.
There you
Grandma
go.
Van Houten is, I'm the number 1 grandchild of
There you go, all right.
of 20, and she always tells me I'm number 1, and Grandma V.
Grandma
definitely.
V. You know, it's funny. Anytime I got jammed up, I called my nana, my mom's mom.
Yep.
I'd go there. You know,
Yep.
if I needed money, if I needed
The
to
door's always
run
open.
if I needed to run interference, you know.
Yep.
I went to my nana. It's all good. You have a good time tonight, man?
I had an awesome time.
I
Unbelievable.
appreciate you coming out here. I know you don't live that close, and I know you got a lot of stuff going on, and with your race con and stuff like that.
No, I was totally looking forward to this.
You know, anything you left out? Anything you want to talk about?
I just want to tell all the kids out there, never stop chasing your dreams. Believe in yourself, and don't let anybody ever tell you no.
There you go.
You can do it if you want it bad enough.
You know, and I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people that I know in my lifetime that were handed everything, and they never appreciated it. You broke your butt to make this happen.
Yeah.
You broke your
Still
butt.
breaking my butt to make it
And you
happen,
know what?
but it's well worth it.
And it is, and you know, it's funny, I look back in life, and the things that came to me easy, they're not there no more. The things that I broke my butt to make happen and worked hard at it each and every day, I still have those things.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of funny how that works
And you
out.
still reap the benefits of it.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
and that's the key. You know, I don't drive a race car anymore. I plan on it, and after Saturday, man, I'll tell you what, man, and driving home in the car, that's all I could think about. That's all I could think about was driving that car on the track. Now, I wasn't racing anybody, I was just doing laps. And I remember talking beforehand, I never drove a TQ before. What the heck did I know? 6 speeds and all this nonsense. And the guy says to me, you know you're going good is when you're in the corner and your left wheels are on the yellow line and you're brushing the wall. And by lap 3, I was doing that. And I was like, this is good. This is good. Yeah, anyway, we're going to wrap up. Again, I want to thank you for your time and for coming out here.
Awesome.
and
Thanks
talking
for having
racing.
me.
And again, keep WJ in your prayers. He's not out of the woods yet. And I'll probably, when I get out of here, my phone will light up with the latest update. But keep WJ in your prayers. And it's probably eating him up that he can't be on here tonight. He's probably still sedated. And I will, through my Facebook
We're
page.
pulling
and
for you,
through his-
WJ.
Yeah, we're pulling for him. And hopefully it all works out. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining in tonight, the chat room people, the people who are just here watching. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be a part of our show tonight, because this is my show and your show, and I wouldn't have a show without you people. So just remember, be safe this weekend. Wherever you're going racing, be safe in the shop. Tell somebody you love them, give them a hug. God bless you all, and we'll see you next week.